Hello students, welcome back to our online classes. In previous class, we have started a very important question bank, that is chapter 2, consumer behavior. So we have discussed section A part, which consists of 20 marks. Today we will discuss section B, C, D and E. The first question of section B, which consists 2 marks each. The first question is, write the differences between budget line and budget set. The important differences between budget set and budget line are as follows. Budget set is nothing but a collection of all bundles available to a consumer at a prevailing market price at a given level of income is called budget share. In short, it is nothing but all the combinations of goods available for the consumer in the market. It includes all the possible bundles which cost less than or equal to a consumer income. Now, what is budget line? Budget line, it is a graphical representation of all possible combinations of two goods which can be purchased with given income and given prices is called budget line. It represents all those bundles that the consumer can purchase by spending his entire income at the given prices. In short, budget set is a combinations of goods available in a market, and budget line, it is the capacity of purchasing power of a consumer. So budget set is a combination of available combinations of goods in the market, and budget line, it shows the purchasing capacity of the consumer. So budget line tells his limitation, what he can purchase and what he cannot purchase. So budget set and budget line both are very important to understand the consumer behavior. So at the prevailing market price, how he behaves, it can be understood by budget set and budget line. Moving to the next question. Second question, what do you mean by inferior goods? With examples we have to write here. A good for which the demand decreases with increase in the income of the consumer is called inferior goods. Here, as the income of the consumer increases, the demand for such goods decreases. Point to be noted, as income increases, usually what happens? The demand for normal goods, superior goods will increase. But whereas in case of few commodities, as the income increases of the consumer, the demand for such goods falls. So such goods are called inferior goods. For example, if the consumer's income increases, instead of purchasing a basic handset or mobile, he will purchase Android or a smartphone. So there are few day-to-day examples again here. Pearl, millet, what we call in Kannada sajje, finger millet, ragi, etc. So it may be a Sona Masuri rice or Basmati rice. Any the quality wise and the ingredients, you'll find that as the income increases, the few goods become inferior and few goods become superior. So according to that, the consumer behavior changes. So he'll see the features of those goods and he'll decide which commodity should be purchased. So here in short, the goods for which as income increases, the demand decreases, such goods are called as inferior goods. They are also called as Giffen goods. Sir Robert Giffen has first time observed this, that behavior towards the inferior goods. So then onwards, these inferior goods are also known as Giffen goods. Moving to the next question, what is monotonic preference? Any rational or wise consumer always prefers more of a commodity as it offers him a higher level of satisfaction. Is called monotonic preference. For example, if there are four indifference curves, you already studied what is indifference curve. If there are four indifference curves in a map or a set, such as IC1, IC2, IC2 and IC3 and IC4, a rational consumer will choose IC4 because which gives him higher level of satisfaction. Now this preference or this rational behavior of the consumer is called as monotonic preference. He always prefers the combination which gives him higher level of satisfaction. Moving to the very next very important law in economics, the law of demand. The fourth question is state the law of demand. The law of demand states other things remaining constant, or other things remaining same, or ceteris paribus, when the price of a good decreases, the demand for good increases, vice versa, and when the price increases, the demand for good decreases. So in short, there is an inverse relationship between the price of the commodity and quantity demanded. If P decreases, the quantity demanded increases. If price falls, demand rises. In other case, if price rises or increases, demand decreases. So here you can see both are moving in a opposite direction. So there is a inverse relationship between the price of the commodity and quantity demanded. Going to the next question. Mention two different approaches which explain consumer behavior. Sorry. Law of diminishing marginal utility. Law of diminishing marginal utility is the example of cardinal utility analysis given by Professor Alfred Marshall, whereas indifference curve given by Allen and Hicks, it is a ordinal utility analysis. So to measure the consumer behavior, these two approaches are used. If you measure the utility in terms of numbers, that is called cardinal utility analysis. And if you are measuring the utility not in terms of numbers but in terms of rank, preferences, that is called ordinal utility analysis. So the two approaches are cardinal utility analysis and ordinal utility analysis. Now sixth question, what do you mean by price elasticity of demand? Again, very important in present day. Law of demand just tells the relation between price and quantity demanded, but it will not tell us to what extent or what intensity the change in price is having the impact on the change in demand. So to measure this, again Professor Alfred Marshall has contributed and he has introduced this price elasticity of demand. It is nothing but it will measure the responsiveness of the demand for a good to change in its price. So it will measure the intensity or the responsiveness in the demand due to change in price. It can be calculated by dividing the percentage change in demand by the percentage change in price. So it can be mathematically expressed as follows. PED is nothing but price elasticity of demand. It can be calculated like percentage change in demand for the good divided by or due to percentage change in the price of the good. So PED is nothing but percentage change in demand for the good divided by percentage change in the price of the good. So note down it very carefully because you need to calculate the price elasticity of demand in next session. Okay. Moving to the next part, 4 marks. We already discussed this all in the previous sessions. Write the differences between total utility and marginal utility. Explain the indifference map. Just now we have discussed what is indifference map. It is nothing but set or a group of indifference curve is called as indifference map. You have to explain with the help of diagram. Then briefly explain the budget set with the help of diagram. Then explain the derivation of slope of the budget line. Then write the differences between substitutes and complements. Then explain the differences between normal and inferior goods with examples. So these are your 4 marks questions which we have discussed in the previous session. So note down these questions, they are very important. Coming to the next part, that is D section, 6 marks questions. Explain the law of diminishing marginal utility with the help of a table and diagram. Next, explain the features of indifference curves with the help of diagrams. Third one, explain the optimal choice of consumer with the help of a diagram. Fourth, explain the movement along the demand curve and shift in the demand curve with the help of 2 diagrams. Here we will understand exactly what is change in demand, what is movement and what is shift in demand curve. Next, fifth one, explain the market demand with the help of diagrams. Here 3 diagrams you need to draw. One is to individual demand curve, individual A, individual B, and third one to show the summation of these 2 consumers demand, that is market demand. So you can observe here that in second chapter there are 6 marks questions. So exam point of view, this chapter 2 is very important. It is having more weightage according to the blueprint. So all 6 marks are very important. Moving to the next section, which is very favorite for the students, that is part E, which is nothing but assignment and project oriented questions, which consist 5 marks. Now here, related to consumer behavior, one case is given to you, that is a consumer wants to consume 2 goods. Consumer wants to consume 2 goods. That 2 goods may be any XYZ, or we have taken here for simplification, we have taken the price of banana and price of mango. The consumer is supposed to consume 2 goods and the income is also given. The income of consumer is rupees 40 and the price of both the commodities is given. The price of banana is rupees 5 and price of mango is rupees 10. Now the first task or the first question in front of us is, how much bananas can she consume if she spent her entire income on that good? Did you understood the question? How much bananas can consumer consume if the consumer is spending entire income on that good, that is on bananas? So before solving this, there is one simple formula for this. The formula is CB is equal to M divided by P. Now CB means consumer budget. Now M stands for money income of consumer and P price of the commodity. I hope you understood the formula. The simple formula to calculate this consumer budget is CB equals to M divided by P. M is nothing but money income of consumer and P price of the commodity. Now the answer for the first question, that is A question, solution is apply this formula first. Write down this formula, CB is equal to M divided by P. Now what is money income of a consumer? 40 rupees, which is already given in the question. And what is the price of the commodity, that is banana? It is 5 rupees. So we apply the formula, we will substitute the values in the formula. What we will get? 40 is our money income, 5 is the price of the commodity. So what answer we will get? We will get 8. It means when the consumer spend his or her entire income on bananas, he or she will get 8 bananas. So this gives you 1 marks. Moving to the second question, how much mangoes can she consume if she spend her entire income on that good? Earlier question was to understand how many bananas the consumer may purchase or consume if entire income is spent. Second one is mangoes. Again same method, apply the formula. Then what is the money income of a consumer? It is 40 rupees. And what is the price of the commodity? Mango, it is 10 rupees. So substitute the values, 40 divided by 10. What answer you will get? You will get 4. Therefore, when the consumer spends his or her entire income on mangoes, he or she will get 4 mangoes. So this is about your calculation of 2 questions. Moving to the third one, that is C question. Is the slope of budget line downward or upward? It is always downward slope. If consumer wants to spend more on one commodity, he has to sacrifice other commodity. So that is the reason why the budget line always slopes downwards. Next, D question. Are the bundles on budget line equal to the consumer's income or not? The answer is the budget line is equal to consumer's income, as we discussed. So price of x1 and plus price of x2, if you calculate, you will come to know it is equal to your consumer's money income. And last question, E. If you want to have more of bananas, you have to give up mangoes. Is it true? If you want to have more of bananas, you have to give up mangoes. Is it true? The answer is yes. वो कहते हैं ना हिंदी में, कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है. The same thing applies here. If the consumer wants to have more of one commodity, he has to sacrifice or give up the another commodity. Why? Because the money income is limited. His budget is limited. He cannot spend both the on both the commodities more. If he is increasing on one commodity more, he has to reduce or sacrifice or give up the another commodity. So I hope students you understood all the 5 answers. A1 is to calculate with the formula. B question is again you have to use that formula and find out what number of the commodity he can purchase. C1 is just telling that what is the shape or the slope of the budget line. The slope of the budget line is downward. Then D, the budget line is always equal to the consumer's income. Then last one rational behavior or the fact is that if you want to purchase more of one commodity, any consumer has to reduce or give up the another commodity. This is what the section E is going to give you 5 marks. I hope students you got these answers. I request you to once again write with your beautiful handwriting and practice these all the question and answers. We'll see in the next session with the next chapter question bank. Thank you.